Now, good. We're recording, and let's start at the edge of your seat. So starting with the hips and feet. Make sure you find that neutral bowl for your pelvis, and then lock your feet out as far as you need to feel comfortable at the knee joint. And then sit up nice and tall, and it might help to put your hands on your knees or on the outsides of your knees. Good. And separate your feet. I'll show you from the front. Separate your feet into what we call a horse stance. And now flex those feet. Widen the toes. Good. Sitting up nice and tall. Yes. Now roll through the feet. So you're going to roll into the ball of the foot and then flex again. Roll into the ball of the foot and then flex. Rolling through the entire foot a few times. And look down at one foot and then the other. Notice any differences between the two. And then keep the feet flexed. With the feet flexed, see if you can pull the baby toe side of the foot towards you more than the big toe side. Yes, we did this once before with a strap, a stretchy band. So you're welcome to do that again if you found it helpful. What you're doing is pulling, I'll show you from above, the baby toe side of your foot up. And then switch it. Pull the big toe side of your foot up. Baby toe side, big toe side. And at first, it might not be that noticeable, which is why using the stretchy band can kind of help it. See how the band can help me pull that baby toe side up, and then help me pull up the big toe side. Baby toe side, big toe side. Now, you may notice your knee moving, right? Can you see my right knee moving if I exaggerate it? So my hip is also rotating as I work the foot. Do this a few times, with or without the stretchy band. You're pulling the baby toe side and the big toe side, and you're letting that hip rotate a little bit as you do this. Good. Now slowly begin to straighten out that same leg. And again, with or without the band, keep pulling the baby toe side and then the big toe side towards you. So this is actually called eversion and inversion. It's got an anatomical name. Can you feel the muscles on the outer shin when you pull that baby toe towards you? That is some excellent sprained ankle prevention right there. Because when we sprain the ankle, the tendency is for the ankle to go like this, whoop, and sickle. So doing the opposite, pulling that baby toe towards you, strengthens this whole line of muscle and makes it much less likely to give way when you step on some unsteady ground. So now switch it up. Take that other leg out. With your knee slightly bent at first, find that inversion and eversion. Use the band if it's helpful, so you can feel it. Big toe, baby toe, big toe, baby toe. It should feel like you are twisting your ankle a little bit, both ways. And if you do have a tendency to twist it the way that people typically get a sprained ankle, which is overstretching, spraining this outer side, then you're going to spend more time pulling that baby toe towards your outer knee and feeling these muscles start to light up and really, really work. Yeah. And then gradually keep working that inversion and eversion as you straighten out the left leg. Mm-hmm. Good. Now, if you have a band or any kind of strap or towel, loop it around your big toes. So you catch just your big toes. Mm-hmm. Just those big toes. Good. And then cross your band in front of you. Mm-hmm. So you can just gently pull and move your heels apart until you feel a pretty strong pull. Your big toes are getting pulled in towards the midline, away from your second toes. Yes. And then roll those shoulders back and down. Mm-hmm. Good. And if you want to warm up the shoulders a little at the same time, you're going to get some good resistance here on the band, and then pull the shoulders back. Reach forward, and then pull. Reach, and then pull. Mm-hmm. Good. Feel your shoulder blades start to scoop around behind your heart. Let your big toes continue to move in towards the midline. Spread the other toes out away from each other. There you go. Mm-hmm. Good. And then slowly release. See if there's a little more space in between your toes than there was before. Walk the feet apart again. We're going to take the hands to the insides of the knees as we twist. So exhale, twist to the right and press that left knee out to the left. See if you can feel some length in that inner thigh. Widen through your collarbones. Reach your right arm out to the right like a wing, opening up through that chest. Good. One more deep breath here. And then slowly bring it back through center. Hook that right arm on the inside of the right knee and begin to twist to the left. Opening up through the collarbones, dropping your shoulders. That's it. Reach that left arm out like a wing. Take one more slow breath here. Inhale your way through center. So both arms on the insides of your legs again. Find a little side bend to the right. You're going to slide that right arm down. Keep pressing that left knee away. There you go. And if your knees are staying steady, you can reach that left arm up, add a little stretch here. Mm-hmm. Good. One more deep breath. When you inhale, come all the way up through center. Hook that left arm, and your arms are doing some work here. They're definitely pressing out a little on the knees as you side bend the other way. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And if the knee can stay there on its own, reach that right arm up and over, add to the side bend. Good, breathing here. Inhale your way up through center. Good, now you can repeat that with your arms here, or this time take your hands behind your head. Good. Now I want you to focus on the sensation of a nice neutral spine. So your bowl is neutral, your rib cage is neutral, you're not lifting or collapsing through the ribs, and the head is drawing back a little bit. And then we'll find a little twist here. So you'll have to keep your knees apart on their own as you twist your rib cage to the right. Keep pressing your head back here. It should almost feel like you're leaning back a little bit in order to get that head where it belongs over your ribs. And then inhale, come back through center. Exhale, twist to the left. Press your head back. Make it feel almost like a lean back. Yes, inhale through center. Now we'll find a little side bend. So as you exhale, side bend, hands behind the head, to the right. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhaling through the center. Good. As you exhale, keep the knees wide. This is our last move here. Reach forward. You can take your hands to a wall or to a piece of furniture like a table or anything else and act like you're about to lift up. So push your heels down. Act like you want to lift your hips up, but don't do it yet. Isometric. Reach and lighten the hips. That's it. Your arms reach forward, your knees are apart, and your hips are starting to lift up. Yes. And then come on back. And now put your heels where they feel like they need to be for you to actually lift up more easily. So maybe that's in closer together or just in closer to your blocks. And ground those heels, and this time actually do it with a neutral spine. Lift the hips as much as possible. And slowly come all the way up. Good, good. But if it's possible, start to come back down towards that position as if you're going to sit down again and take all the cat spine out of your upper back. So for me, if I wing my elbows out, my shoulders tend to roll forward. So I'm going to take my elbows more up towards the ceiling. That's going to help me lift right here. And then come all the way up with that neutral spine. Yes. Good. Walk the feet together. Find your mountain pose. Keep your blocks nearby. Tadasana. Yes. On your next exhalation, ground your left heel. Start to lift your right knee up. So at first, you might keep your toes on the mat. Focus on what's happening in this standing hip. So can you ground the standing heel? Engage the standing glute. Unlocking the knee that's in between the heel and the hip. And then start to float your right foot up a little higher. So before you let this right toe lift, you're very aware of what's happening through the left heel and the left hip to ground everything. Then you lift up. Yeah. On your next exhalation, take a big step forward and find a lunge. You can keep that back heel lifted and then bring your palms to the center of your chest. So if it's too tricky to balance with that back heel lifted, you can go ahead and put it down. Or if the knee feels strained, put that heel down. But otherwise, play with the balance. The legs in parallel, it's a little trickier to find the balance. And as you exhale, twist your rib cage to the right. It's pretty small, similar to what we did when we were in the deep squat, sitting on the blocks. Take 2 more deep breaths. And maybe you open up the arms too. Maybe you glide the head back, keeping it over the rib cage. And then slowly unwind. Bring your back knee all the way down. Use some cushion if that's helpful. So you can find 2 90-degree angles. And then reach the arms out in front of you. Your right foot is forward, so we'll inhale the right arm up. Exhale as you twist to the right, open that arm. Maybe even look to your back thumb now. Inhale, reach it up high and bring it forward. So we'll repeat this. Exhale, twist to the right. Reach that right arm back. Inhale. Take the right arm up and forward. Let the lift of the arm help you lengthen the sides of your body right before you twist. And now let's use this left hand to check out what the right knee is doing. Put your left hand down on this right knee, stabilize it. Push through the right heel, keep that right knee really stable, and 2 more times. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to the start. Exhale, twist. Keep your navel and your knee pointing forward. Inhale as you bring it back to center. Yes. Now relax the shoulders, roll them a few times. Bring your blocks out in front of you. You may want them to be even higher now. So again, a stool or a table will work also. We're gonna lift that back knee and wiggle that leg as far back as you can, getting much deeper into this lunge. So you feel a big stretch in the front of your hip and thigh. You can pad that back knee, but work it really far back so you feel this stretch. And then you can begin to walk your hands forward. So if you have a low table, just bring your hands to that table. If you're working with blocks, maybe you turn them up like so, and bring your elbows down. What we don't want is to go down so low with the elbows that the back begins to round into cat. So feel free to just reach the arms forward or raise your blocks up until you have a nice neutral spine. Now, Lori, does your left hip like this position? Or just so-so? Now, what we're gonna do is engage that left glute. We're gonna work those muscles. So right here, engage this left glute and then lift the knee. It's challenging to do because we're in this big stretched out position. Take 2 more deep breaths using that glute, to lift the knee. And then slowly press back, downward facing dog. Or table, that's another good option, hands and knees. Take 3 deep breaths in table or downward facing dog. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Slowly work your way up to standing in mountain Tadasana. So now we'll ground this right heel as we lift up onto the left big toe. And before we lift that left foot any higher, really focus on rooting down through that standing heel, unlocking the knee, engaging the glute in the back pocket. And as you feel that connection between your hip working to drive your right heel down, then you start to float that left foot up. Breathing here. Let the eyes stay steady on one spot. Now, when you're ready, it's a big step forward to get to your lunge. And if you're ready to play with the balance today, you'll keep the back heel lifted. If you need to, you can ground it. But if you're ready to play with the balance, lift it up. And that keeps your legs parallel in this lunge. Good. When you're ready, palms to the center of your chest. And the rib cage twists just a little bit to the left. Breathe. See if you can ground that left heel, press it down. Reach back through that right leg. And then optional, open up the arms into your twist. That's it. Yes, now make sure the head is gliding back a little bit so it stays over your rib cage. Mm-hmm. Oh yes, you can look to that back hand if that feels good, but don't let that pull your head forward. Keep gliding the head back. Here we go. Good, now as you exhale, come back to center. Slowly bring that back knee down, and we're starting in that 90-90 shape. 90 degrees at each knee. Reach the arms forward here. And this time it's the left arm. You'll exhale as you twist to the left. Open up the chest. Inhale, sweep it forward again. Exhale, brace the core. Twist. Inhale, take it forward. Good. Use this lift of the arm to stretch the side body right before you twist. Good. But don't let your pelvis or your legs change at all. Those are stable. Good. Yes. Last two. Put your right hand on your left knee. Ground that left heel. Keep it all very stable. Wonderful. Now here is where you have some kind of prop in front of you, high or low. We're gonna lift up that back knee and wiggle that foot as far back as you need to feel a really big stretch. Breathing here. Now you choose what to do with that back foot. If you always keep your toes turned under, then slowly put the toenail side down. Stretch out the shin. Good. You can reach your arms forward to your prop or bring your elbows to your prop. Yes. Good. Now, Steve, with your elbows down, I want you to look at your forearms and drop your heart, but not your head. Yeah, only the heart drops low. There you go. Now we're focusing, whatever you're doing with your arms, you're still focusing on that length in the back leg, getting a big lunge. But now we're gonna wake those leg muscles up. So turn your right toes under, engage that right glute, and use that right glute to lift the leg. Yes, this is challenging work. For a few breaths, lift up that back knee, using the right glute. Yeah, deep breath. Slowly lower that knee. Come all the way down and step it back to table. Hands and knees. Good. Now I'll give you two options here. This next movement that we're going to do involves lifting your right leg up, flex that right foot, and then keeping the knee bent, you'll open the hip, external rotation, and then go the other way, internal rotation. So the knee goes out, and then that knee pulls in and across the midline as much as you can. External and internal. Good. Now, if this feels terrible, come down onto your stomach. See if it feels better if you're lying down. External, internal. External, internal. And another nice option, if you do have a ball, you can tuck that underneath the front of your left thigh as you work this right one. Yeah. Good. Now everybody come down to the floor and bend the knee and take it up parallel. Yes, now this is very tricky because you cannot see that knee. So rest your forehead. Bring your spine to as neutral a position as you can. And then just lift that right knee and thigh in parallel, up and down. Can you feel your right glute doing this work? Lift it up, set it down. Lift it up, set it down. Now, two big things here. We are not opening and closing the knee joint. We're keeping that knee at 90 degrees. So it goes straight up and straight down. Straight up, straight down. That's it. We are also no longer opening or closing. We're keeping that leg in parallel, so it barely moves. Yes. Good. Now straighten out that right leg and do the same thing with a straight right leg in parallel. Put your head down. Good. So your neck and your low back are not doing this. In fact, right before you lift that right leg, exhale, brace your core. Try to pick your abdominals up off of the mat. So it's only the right leg squeezing to, only the right glute squeezing to lift that right leg. Yeah. And then optional, keep your right hand under your head, but reach that left arm forward and start to work that left arm. There you go. Beautiful. One more time. And then press it back to your table position. Send your hips back a little further, like you're going into child's pose. Stretch out that low back. Now, if your low back is saying, let's just stay here because I'm tired and tight, that means your low back was doing too much, and you'll have to engage the abdominals a little bit more so that you isolate this left glute as we move to the other side. So don't feel like these movements have to be big. I might not even be able to see them from the outside. Let's come into table and find left leg lifted. So right here, use your right hand on your abdomen or your lower back to make sure you are drawing in your abdominals as firmly as you can. And your low back is neutral or even a little flatter than it normally is. And from here, open up that left knee to the left. There's your external. And then hug that left knee in towards the midline. Get your internal. You're just gonna open that knee and then close it, squeeze it in. Feel that rotation both ways. Chances are very good that external rotation, opening the knee, feels a lot easier, or at least more familiar. And internally rotating feels strange and difficult, maybe even impossible. That's okay. You're just taking it into a point of effort with no strain. There we go. Good, and then you can continue for the next 4 to 6, or take it down to the floor, optional little white ball underneath your right thigh. So if you're using the ball, it will go right here. And that left knee is still 90 degrees. As you go external and internal. Good, a nice slow yoga breath. 360 degrees all the way around your spine. Yeah. And then after your last external and internal, bring that left leg to parallel. Bring it to 90 degrees. Rest your head. Try to lift your abdominals first and then squeeze your left glute to lift that leg. Inhale as you lower. So now we're keeping this left leg parallel, right in the middle. Keep that left knee at 90 degrees at first, flexing the foot. So yes, That's it. We're not closing and opening that knee joint. We're keeping it at 90 and then just squeezing that left glute. So the lower you keep your head, the less your lower back will work. Keep your head really heavy on the mat. Scoop in those abdominals. And then use that left glute. Good. Now straighten out that left leg and continue. It won't lift very high because your abdominals are putting on the brakes. Your left glute is doing this work. And your left low back would take over if your abdominals released. So you're keeping those abdominals strong. Just go for one more, and then maybe add in that right arm for your last 4. Yes, now straighten out those legs. Remove any ball that you had underneath you, and just wobble the hips a little bit, side to side. Take your right knee out to the right. Roll to your left side for a twist. You can put your right hand behind your head as you slowly open up your chest to the ceiling. Let your right hand support your head as you open up your chest to the ceiling. So your right knee is bent and you roll onto your left hip. There we go. Good. Now take your left hand, scoop it underneath this right knee. There you go. Scoop it underneath. Now push your right thigh away from you. Like you want to get this right hip away from your right shoulder, but you're holding it in place with that left arm. So I'll show you standing up. Zoop, zoop. Just like that. Now you can stay here or extend that right leg. Inhale as you bend. Exhale as you extend. Inhale as you bend. One more time. And then roll to your stomach again. Come back to lying on your belly, relaxing the head, wobbling the hips. When you're ready, take your left knee out to the left. Roll to your right side. Open up your chest to the ceiling. Good, let that left shoulder open up. I'm just gonna show you standing up in case you're not sure what I mean. Now use your right hand to grab underneath your left knee. Yes, support it from underneath. Use your left hand to press that left hip away from you. So you're pulling your left knee up, but you're pressing your left hip away from your shoulder. Two opposing actions through that hip and leg. You're encouraging the left thigh bone to move away from the pelvis. And then maybe you extend that left leg a little and then bend it. Extend and bend. Good. 2 more times. And slowly come back to your stomach. Come on to hands and knees. Stretch the hips back, halfway to child, and bring the elbows down. Good. Inhale, right hand behind your head. Open up your chest to the right. Exhale, twist, tap your elbow on the mat. Inhale, right hand stays behind the head so you can press your head back. And exhale as you twist, tap the elbow. Inhale, open up to the right. Exhale, twist. Good. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist. Now stay right here or come up onto the left hand. You'll have a little more room to negotiate this twist. So staying on the left elbow or coming up to the left hand, continue to open your chest to the right and then twist. 2 more. Inhale as you open. Exhale as you twist. Now place that right elbow down so you feel kind of crowded. Take your left hand behind your head, and as you inhale, open. Exhale, twist. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist. Feel how restrictive this feels. It's because you can't twist your lower back much here. And that's a good thing. Press your head back into your hand. Really press your head back. Then twist. Good. Now, optional, come up onto your right hand and continue. So now you have to use your abdominals to avoid twisting in that low back. 3 more. That's it. Good. Exhale your way to downward facing dog. Keep the knees a little bit bent. And then slowly walk your hands towards your feet. Inhale up about halfway. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, come all the way up, finding mountain. Exhale here, letting the shoulders melt down the back. So on your next inhale, peel the right foot up. Ground your left heel, so you're using your standing glute. And then slowly take a big step forward into a lunge. If possible, keep that back heel lifted. Otherwise, swivel it down and find warrior. When you're ready, palms to the center of your chest. Exhale, twist your rib cage right. And optional, open up your arms into this twist. Inhale here, tall through the spine, head gliding back. And as you exhale, bring both hands down. This might be a nice place for the blocks. Wiggle or slide your back leg further back and engage that left glute. Your choice. Keep this leg energized by keeping the knee lifted or slowly lower and emphasize flexibility more. Take 2 more slow breaths here. And then press your way back to table. or downward facing dog. Inhale forward to a modified plank. So your knees are on the mat, your chest is reaching forward. Exhale, lower all the way down for cobra. Inhale, lift the heart just a little to cobra, shoulders back. Exhale as you lower. Inhale as you lift back into cobra. Exhale as you lower. Try different hand positions. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling to lower. Now again, if you feel this as strain in the low back, place a block or a blanket under your forehead and just lift the shoulders. Keep the head supported. Take about 3 more breaths. The head can stay low as long as the shoulders are lifting. Your hands can be anywhere you feel supported. Now slowly press your way back to downward facing dog. And on your next exhale, walk your hands back to your feet. So our last sun salutation variation. Take an inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale to mountain, Tadasana. Transfer the weight to your right heel as you slowly lift that left leg up. Take a breath to feel the hips doing this work, the head gliding back. And then step that left foot forward into a lunge. Decide where your back heel will be for this lunge. Engage the deep core. It gets hard in some of these lunges to keep your pelvis neutral. Sometimes it wants to tip forward or tip back. And you're going to bring it to neutral again. So the bowl of your pelvis is not spilling water. Palms to the center of your chest. Little exhale to twist to the left. Keep that left knee bent right over your heel. Optional, open up those arms. Deep breath here. As you inhale, unwind the arms. You can take them to your table or to your prop. And then wiggle those feet a little further apart. Get into a pretty deep lunge so you feel some sensation of stretch. And to keep that back leg active, you'll keep the knee lifted. Keep working that right glute. Optional, bring that right knee all the way down if you'd rather work on the flexibility. Mm-hmm. 2 more deep breaths. Good, now slowly step back to your table or to your downward facing dog. Inhale forward to a plank pose. Knees can be down or up. And then as you exhale, slowly lower, bend the elbows. Coming all the way down one last time for cobra. Any hand position you like. Open up the chest. Drag the shoulders back and down. And as you exhale, press back through child's pose. So right here in child's pose, stretch your arms forward, tractioning the spine. You can stay in the center of child's pose or walk your hands to one side. Find the side bend here. Inhale your hands to center. Exhale, take them to the other side. Inhale your hands to center. And as you exhale, come onto your back. Now this is another nice place for your blocks or some wall space or the edge of your couch or your ottoman, something that you can put your legs up on like so. So an ottoman or a couch is often just the right height. Once you've found a good, comfortable position, make sure the knees are just bent enough that your hips can fully relax. Yeah, so if you're using the couch, go ahead and put your calves up on the couch. Yeah, let them be supported. Wiggle a little closer to the chair or couch. Let your calves be fully supported there. Yeah. So this kind of a position is a resting position in which you can picture the tops of your thigh bones moving back and down within the pelvis. So it can really help undo a lot of the tension and aggravation that occurs at the front of the hip when you're sitting a lot during the day. So essentially the same piece of furniture, whether it's an office chair or a couch or whatever you're sitting on, if you change your relationship to it by getting down on the floor on your back and putting your legs up on that same piece of furniture, you give your thigh bones and your pelvis a chance to really change how they relate to each other and to let the thigh bones relax deeper into the hip socket. So once you're in your resting position, allow your exhalation to get a little bit longer. You might do this, there's lots of techniques. One of the techniques we use sometimes is counting the exhalation. The numbers don't matter, but counting during the exhalation can help us notice when it begins to get longer. Perhaps even allowing for a little pause at the end of the exhalation before the next inhale. Allow the legs and the arms to be heavy. Let the pelvis and the spine melt towards the ground. The effort that we put into aligning the bones and muscles for the first 55 minutes, and the effort that we put into breathing slowly and deeply, three-dimensionally, all the way around the spine. That comes together here in these last 5 to 10 minutes as we let the body relax and we let the breath become ordinary. It's all different now because you put that effort in. And it's during these brief moments of relaxing and letting go that the integration of your effort and your surrender can occur. So that when you get up from this relaxation, your ordinary breath is different from how it was an hour ago. Your muscles and bones relate to each other ever so slightly differently. And those differences that work on the relationships within your body, it accumulates as you repeat it. The effort and the letting go. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful day.